the PDF downloads of the African Dialogues Volumes 1 and 2 are in the links below the description of this video. Charles, you parted ways with Harold as you disagreed with what he was doing, and you were excommunicated. I wonder if you would excommunicate anyone with whom you disagree, or have a divergence of views. Duane responds, no, that's silly stuff. With the corporation at the time, I was surprised myself how that took place, and of course it's not really Harold so much as it is Joni. She is the controlling factor there. She created the worshipping and praying and all these things, a step at a time. The priest idea, the clergy, etc. And you see what it has come to today. We discuss experiences we have had here. Sandy and I have had some recently, where we've encountered Joni on the real side. Off and on Joni comes. She sees what's going on here too, and it wasn't really a disagreement. There is no disagreement. What has taken place since Paul left is a lot of ideas about things, even when Paul was here. One of the issues that was created by people is the plagiarism stuff. You see plagiarism out in the community all the time. McDonald's created the original hamburger, and now everyone has hamburgers. So, are they plagiarizing? Again, it goes on, and mainly these ideas come from the business world, and these things are ignited almost purposely to create all the distortion, to keep people unsettled about things, so they are easily controlled. This is where we are at today. All this chaos is created, and look at the governments, and especially the US government. All this crazy stuff, that comes out of the politicians, and they create this on purpose. It's all an act. We know why we're here, and more so than just being part of a religious, spiritual path, or goody-goody system, or being good neighbours. Life's about survival, and it's just very real, and our environment is being destroyed on a daily basis, and this isn't a mistake. It's reported how this destruction simply happens, and no one knows why. They know exactly why it happened, because they planned it. Wake up and get real. People need stand up for themselves, etc. One thing you can have fun with is contacting environmental groups, because they are people that care, and the dark brats set up environmental groups too, as they set up situations too, and they play all sides. There is no guarantee, but it's just having the intent there to do something, because again, it's survival, and we're all fending for our lives here, you might say. We will only be here for a certain time, and then that will be it, and those that are here will still be left. This is why I cover everything that I can, like never before. Getting back to Harold, it wasn't about disagreement. It was very obvious, as I could see on the real side, what was going on, and here on the physical, and that none of this made sense. While I was in the corporation, therefore, I did my own projects. I didn't follow along with what was going on, and I saw the control factor going, and that it was getting worse and worse. I was an initiator at the time, 6th, 7th initiate, and I would hear their stories, and they would be seeing the control of the higher initiates too, etc. You have a bigger bureaucracy in this, and I wasn't going to contest that. It's just that it came to a point where through my own experiences I was simply sharing that there was going to be a new situation here. Of course, the corporation is really Joni, as she eventually got rid of the board members and everything, to the extent that it was really her behind the curtain, and Harry out front having his strings pulled. It's basically their show. It came to that point where the new position came in 2001. It was time, and still it was a struggle too. I had a small group, myself and them, in my house, and they were having real side experiences and being shown, etc. It's always off the real side, and what makes sense. So the new presentation is the next step, to where it's no longer that we just hang around and talk all the time, but we actually do something and take on the challenge of the world. And through the years, it's become more so. We're living in this environment, and look at the skies every day. We have chemtrails, poison, HAARP, you're drinking bad water, eating bad food, everything's poisoned. At what point is it not going to work any more? Life is about survival. It's not these cute spiritual ideas, or being the good person. Yes, you do those things accordingly, but realistically, you make sense of things. I know it seems at times the way I say things sounds a little bit hard, and people question me and ask, where is the love, Duane? But first comes survival. First comes making sense. You can sit there and love each other while the governments of the world are poisoning everybody. But at the same time, you'd better decide to do something, because there is no future, and especially if you have children, because they are the future, and that's real. We're here, and we're the real light, and if we weren't here, this place would really be bad, and this is why I started all these things, like the university, and the home school especially. I see these as so essential. Just the basic ideas, and the images of the children, etc., that Ava and I create all the time. We're creating all these ideas, and fortunately we have Kelsey there, who follows through, who does all the websites, contacts all the people, and the younger people, and starts new Skypes, etc. Again, it's survival, and this is where things have become very strange, to where it's just pretty words and pretty speeches. You look at the environmental conferences of the world, the climate thing, how it's all premeditated nonsense. It is sound good things, and it makes people think how they are doing something when they really are not. They are doing nothing except making it worse. In other words, putting up a front to get your attention, while behind your back they're doing things to destroy things and control you. This is a game to these people. At least we're doing something. And yes, there is a bigger picture, and it's a horse race to see what's going to come out first, them or us. This is how it is, because it's free will, and it just gets very real.